Hello, grade 10s. Today I'm just going to be showing you how to factorize using the method of the difference of two squares method. And before we actually get into the different steps, it's quite quick, it's quite easy. I'm going to show you how to do it. Firstly, I want to ask you, what does the word difference mean in mathematics? Okay, it doesn't mean that two things don't look the same. No, it means that we are subtracting one thing from another thing, right? So that's what the word difference means in mathematics. And then what is a square number? Not the shape, but like what is a square number? A square number can be something like x to the power of 2. So anything that's to the power of 2 is going to be what we call a square number. So now here we're saying difference, meaning minus, of two squares. So now we have one square there because it's to the power of 2. Then let's just put another square, which is y to the power of 2. So now here we have two squares, and you have subtracting them from each other. We are finding the difference of two squares, and then that's how you know that, okay, cool, I can go use this method. It's when you have two terms, one term, two terms, both of them are squared, right? They have to the power of 2, and then you're finding the difference of them. If this was a plus, we would not use this method. Okay, so now step 1 for using the difference of two square method, step 1 is as follows. You write down two brackets. There's one bracket, there's another bracket, and then you write a plus sign and also a minus sign. Okay, quite easy. And then you go to step 2. Step 2 is, okay, we've already written down our brackets. We have the plus and we also have the minus in one bracket and another bracket. So now what we'll go and do is we ask ourselves, firstly, what is the square root of x squared, guys? What is that going to be? That is going to be x, right? The square root of x squared is just going to be x. So then we write an x there and we write an x in the other bracket as well. Then you ask yourself, okay, cool, now what is the square root of y squared? It should just be y and then y. And then you would get your marks here, right? That's how you use this method. So now I'm just going to go through a few examples to just make sure that you understand everything. So let's go for question number 1 is going to be the following. We are given 4y squared minus 16. Okay, so now what we first ask ourselves is, okay, cool, we have two terms. Yes, one term there, here's another term. And then is 4 a square number? Yes, 4 is a square number because 4 is equivalent to 2 squared. So it is a square number. And also, is 16 a square number? Yes, 16 also is a square number because 16 is equivalent to 4 squared. So it is also a square number. Okay, cool. And then is y squared a square number? Yes, it is. So we have a square term there, another square term there, and we're finding the difference of the two of them. So then we'll say, okay, we'll just use the difference of two squares method. So now step 1 would be, we write one bracket here, another bracket there, one has a plus, one has a minus. And then now we ask ourselves, what is the square root of this whole first term there? What is the square root of 4? What is the square root of 4, guys? That is going to be 2. And now what is the square root of y squared? That is just going to be y. So we have 2y there, you write 2y there. And then you just ask yourself again, what is the square root of 16? Yes, it's going to be 4, and then you write down 4 there as well. So you see, it's quite easy. So now what happens when you have something like, let's say for instance, question number 2 is going to be x to the power of 4 minus 16. Okay, so now we ask ourselves, okay, is x to the power of 4 a square number? I'm going to show you why it is actually a square number. So x to the power of 4 actually is a square number. And then 16, we've already said it is a square number, and we're finding the difference of the two. So now the reason why I'm saying x to the power of 4 is a square number is we can write x to the power of 4 is equivalent to x to the power of 2, right, to the power of 2. So yes, it is a square number because this is your base, and we are raising it to the power of 2. Okay, so let me explain this a bit further. So like, let's say, for instance, we are going to expand x to the power of 2 to the power of 2. We would then write it as the following. We'd write it as x to the power of 2, and then another bracket would have x to the power of 2. Am I correct in assuming that? Because we are raising this whole bracket to the power of 2, right? So then we say x to the power of 2 in one bracket, and we have another bracket saying x to the power of 2. And then if we were to expand it again, it would just be x multiplied by x, multiplied by x, multiplied by x, and then it's x times x times x times x is equals to what? It's going to just equal x to the power of 4, which is basically the same as what we had there. So you see, these are actually equal to each other. So yes, x to the power of 4 is a square number, and I'm going to show you another example using this. Okay, cool. So now let's just say we're done with that, and then we just say in one bracket and another bracket, we have a plus, we have a minus. And now the square root of x to the power of 4 is going to be what? I just showed you, it's going to be x to the power of 2, and you have x to the power of 2 here. And then now what is the square root of 4? of 16 is going to be 4. And then you have 4. Now we're not done yet, because I can see that this bracket here can also be further factorized using the method of the difference of two squares, because here, yes, we have a square number, we have another square number here, and then we are finding the difference between the two of them. So what we're first going to do is we're going to leave the first bracket as it is. It's x squared plus 4. And then the second bracket, we just write one bracket and another bracket, right? That's step 1. Step 1 says write a plus and also a minus sign. And then step 2 would be, what is the square root of x to the power of 2? It is just going to be x. And then you write another x there. And then now, what is the square root of 4? It's going to be 2 and another 2 there. And then we're done with this one. Okay, so now one last example. Let's do, which one can I give you? So now let's do a bit of a hard one again. Let's say, for instance, now you have 4 f to the power of 10 minus 81 f to the power of 4. Okay, so now again, you need to ask yourself, is the 4 a square number? Yes, 4 is a square number. We've already discussed that. Now, is f to the power of 10 a square number? And the question, the answer to that would actually be yes, because you can actually break f to the power of 10 as f to the power of 5, and then outside that bracket to the power of 2. So now you see it is actually a square number as well, because it's now f to the power of 5 squared gives you f to the power of 10. Okay, and then now, is 81 a square number? Answer is yes. And now, is f to the power of 4 a square number? That is also correct, because f to the power of 4 can also be written as 4 to the power of 2 squared. So you see again, it is going to be squared. So therefore, it is a square number. So now what we'll then go ahead and do is, what is step 1? Step 1 would be write down your two brackets. So here you have one bracket, here you have another bracket, we have a plus sign or a minus sign. Then you ask yourself, what is the square root of everything there? It's going to be 2f to the power of 5, and you have 2f to the power of 5. And now, what is the square root of everything on this side? It's going to be 9f to the power of 2, and then 9f to the power of 2. And that's all your marks that you're going to get there.